So today we're going to talk about how to deal with bumps. And the most important thing that you can do in moguls is have speed control. What typically happens with people is they start skiing in the troughs and now you're skiing somebody else's mogul line. When you're doing that, the first turn is fine. The second turn you've accelerated. By the third turn, you've double accelerated, and by the fourth turn, you shoot out across the bumps going bop, 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 bop. What I'm going to show you today is speed control and line, and the tactic of where to plant your pole. So as you can see this bump here, okay, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to turn on the top of this mogul, not letting my skis drop into the trough, and my mogul line will be more this way. By doing that, I am controlling speed as I go down the mogul line. I'm not getting in the troughs, and I can decide what I want to do and where I want to turn. So let's look at how that looks. So here's the first turn. So all we're going to do is we're going to turn high on this bump, we're going to go across, and then we'll stop and talk about it. So here we go. Here, on the top, I come to the next top of the mogul, and now from this mogul, I can decide where I want to turn. These are pretty icy bumps, so the things that we're doing today will help you control speed, even in icy bumps. You saw that when I went over the bump, I went over the top of the bump, I didn't get in the trough, and I stayed high. So if we look, let's do it again. So here I am. Now look at this is the next thing we want to talk about. Here is the bump right here. If I plant my pole here, what happens? Well, you can't turn until your foot gets to that bump, the pole. So right here, now I'm late for that mogul. I'm back here and I want to turn and stay on the top of this bump and come to that bump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant my pole in what I call the box. The box sits a little bit in front of your binding and right to the back of your heel. This little box is where we're going to plant the pole. Look, if I plant here, I can immediately turn on this bump. Plant, turn, and right on the top of the next bump. Plant, turn, I'm on the top of the next bump. Notice I've missed the troughs in each area as I'm going over high on the mogul. So I hope that makes sense. So the two things that we've discussed are staying high on the mogul, letting my skis go across the mogul line, and planting in the box. The last thing that we need to learn in a mogul is how to absorb the mogul and extend in the mogul. So as I come into a trough, as I come into the mogul, I am going to flex my legs up to absorb the mogul and stay centered, and then extend down the mogul. What we're trying to do is stay centered over our skis here. What many people do is when they come into a mogul, the mogul pushes them up, they let their upper body go straight up, their knees come up, and now where are they? They're in the back of their skis. They're in the back seat. As I come into the mogul, I'm coming in, my legs are coming up, my body is flexing at the hip, and I'm coming this way into the bump. As I come over the top of the mogul, then I extend my legs and I come through. Let's see what that looks like. And I'll show you a little drill you can practice. So if I hit this bump right here and come over into the bump. So one of the drills that we can use to get my legs flexed and extended on a bump, and practice that motion is getting on the top of a bump like this. Okay, I'm on the very crown of a bump. I'm going to get as low as I can. So I'm going to get low like this with my tush down. I'm centered over my foot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plant my pole, and then I'm going to slowly extend up and move down into the top of the bump. So here we go. So down low, plant my pole, slowly extend up, and now we will try it again on the next bump. I'm pointing back at you to the camera instead of you seeing my butt. So here I am again. I'm down low in the flexed position as I would come into a mogul, and then I plant my pole, slowly extend, and make a turn. Plant, slowly extend, make a turn. That will help you get the feel of flexing into the bump, extending the backside of the bump. So another thing that we could do that could be very helpful in the moguls is, as you can see me here and my skis are on the top of a crown of a mogul. Notice there's not a lot of surface area, and it's really easy for me just to spin my feet. Another tactic that you can use in the moguls is a pivot. So what we could do is just plant our pole right next to us and pivot our skis. What you do is you just rotate your feet really fast. Watch. Plant my pole, rotate my feet. I could be up right here. I could plant my pole. I could rotate my feet. Look at that. I went, what, 3 feet, 4 feet, and I'm still on the top of this bump, and I've done a whole turn already. We could do it again on the top of this really tough bump, and I could go and rotate my feet right on the top of the next mogul. So that's another tactic that you can use to ski bumps, especially when they're pretty irregular or pointy. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, please email me, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.